Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Lewis. Welcome to this episode of the ReEvolve Media Revolution podcast, where we talk to Canada's underground hip hop talent and use one of the most influential genres to help us understand a bit more about ourselves. This episode features Unborn403. Now, this episode has been split in two halves by fate, with almost 2 months between when each half was recorded. While those details you will hear about in the interview, I would like to point out the clear difference in tones of our voices and the difference in how two people communicate when they first talk to each other and then a little while later after they've built some rapport and a bit of an understanding of each other is had. To me, it's night and day. Unborn403 is an awesome dude, and I look forward to working with him in whatever capacity in the future. One of the themes we discuss in this interview, or interviews, is breaking out of the individualism and close-hearted introversion that prevents us from being our true selves. I personally believe that other people can be mirrors for how we see the world or even for how we see ourselves, and gaining a better understanding of that can only be beneficial. Through ReEvolve Media, we are doing our best to connect the underground hip-hop community of Canada, and it's become clear how important that is, especially now that COVID has kept us divided for well over a year. We have the tools, we have the people, we just need to keep moving, no matter what acts of nature or other delays slow us down. Now here's Unborn403. All right, everybody, I'm here with Sean. He goes by Unborn, a rapper out of Calgary, Alberta. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Jordan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. And from
Awesome.
what I can see in your track record here, you dabble in mixing and mastering as well.
Yeah, I do. From an early age, from when I started, making hip hop music, I was more so, quote unquote, just the rap guy, But then I realized, I had to kind of branch out and, start to kind of dabble in mixing and mastering as well.
With your releases, I've got you pegged for a start in 2019, at least for putting out music officially. Is that kind of roughly when you started?
Professionally sounding, yes, I did start kind of more 10 years ago. From
10
writing
years. Oh, geez.
to
Yeah.
freestyling to like 4 or 5 years ago I started
Okay.
recording, and it's all over
Forming
the
the craft.
place.
Yeah, I
Right,
feel you.
right.
Okay, so you've been kind of hip hop oriented for about 10 plus years then.
Yeah, myself personally, yes.
That's dope, man. And so it started with freestyling?
Yeah, for me personally, it was more of a high school thing. Me and my buddies would try out, and it'd be something to kind of pass the time, and something that kind of stuck with me more so, more than my friends, and they kind of fell off of it. But yeah, that's kind of how it started out, and more so trying to get onto a beat, trying to make a song, trying to have a flow, trying to understand the whole musical process as a whole. So
So it turned in from like a cultural kind of hobby thing into a career move for you.
yeah, something I never kind of took seriously, but more so as it developed, I took it more seriously and saw interest in it and had passion in it for sure. So
That's dope, man. And when did you start diversifying your talents into the mixing and mastering? Was that right around your starting releasing in 2019?
that is correct. Yes, that's about the time that I started to try to develop my own sound. And even if you listen to a couple of those first tracks I actually had, and even if you listen to something now, you can even see, the development in that sound and that mastering and mixing aspect. So yeah, that's about the time I started doing it for myself, kind of thing.
Where do you get most of your information from when it comes to learning in that area?
To be honest with you, totally from one of my homies that I actually started this whole hip hop
You have a
rap thing with.
mentor.
Yes, sir, I do, and you can kind of see a lot of my releases. It'll either collab with him or he
Yeah.
collabs with me. That's the homie version 2.
Version
Check him
two.
out.
Okay. I was going to guess. Yeah.
Yeah, version 2. I learned a lot of what I did, from the technological aspect. We kind of grew up with YouTube and doing our own, funny videos, things, and
For sure.
streaming
Yeah. I
games,
feel
and
you. I feel you.
that's pretty much how that started out. So yeah, he kind of learned the whole. He started making his own beats, and he kind of was the guy who would quote unquote engineer our music when we first started. And I kind of learned everything I did from him, and then he's still teaching me to this day. It's really awesome.
That's wild, man. And how long
Yeah.
have you and version two been homies?
Oh, probably about like longer than 10 years, but that's kind
Oh,
of why
since
it
the
goes back.
freestyling days.
Oh yeah, that's when it started way back for him and I. But
Yeah.
him and I probably since like 12, so like close to 12 years, probably 11 years now.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
That's dope that you kept
yeah.
it together for so long and that you're both gunning towards the same industry as well.
Oh, for sure, and and everything. He kind of branched out into a bunch of different things. He's really talented, by the way. He's got he designs websites and he codes his own video games and stuff. But it's awesome that he's able to kind of use his skills, and we can kind of use it in our industry here and teach each other things. Like now we're trying to push into photography and other avenues for sure. So
That's dope, man. It's
yeah.
always great to diversify your talents, man. You become kind of completely unrestricted in your craft when you do that.
Oh, for sure, and it's a great way to meet other people. Other than just trying to, share your music with other people. Presenting the same opportunities that you kind of have now. Like, I just did a photo shoot with another artist in the city here the other day, and it's a great way to kind of get your name out and get practice, and promote them as well. So
That's awesome, man. It's a really different kind of genuine way to network.
for sure, and it was what kind of started off as a little bit uncomfortable. As the photo shoot went on and progressed, it became natural and very fluid, and we were really happy with the result, and so was he. So yeah, check out the homie Christian Archibald. We did a photo shoot for him the other day. He did some art on my page, and you can check that out on my Insta.
So photography, you're a rapper, you do your mixing, mastering. What other talents do you have under your belt that kind of relate or at least help with the overall man that is unborn?
A little bit of, I'd say a little bit of just knowing how to work with people. My background, I'm not really too, as far as music goes. I mean, I've worked in, mechanic shop. I work in the trade industry right now. I'm a blue collar worker. But learning how to work with people, different situations, having the discipline and the mindset, that I got to go out there and I got to go get it for myself. And, just kind of seeing things that a lot of people don't see, and having to sometimes lead industries that you have to build connections with, and kind of, have people trust you to kind of move forward. So
For sure, man. And honestly, through your music, I can tell that same mentality precedes your blue collar days. That you've kind of grown up on this lifestyle.
no, yeah, and it's great that I can kind of have that insight, because my father, he kind of got me into that, and he's all my life's kind of, been working on the road, but very disciplined for sure, very insightful, very wise, very hardworking. Kind of gives me that work ethic, and work ethic beats talent mentality, and just that consistency and perseverance for sure.
That's the truth, man. And I believe that as well because I don't know. I've had this argument before. I think it was with my brother where he believed that people are kind of born with it. But as much as I think that can be true to an extent, you can hustle, you can work, you can grind, and you can beat out anybody who's been born with it.
No, I agree with that 100%. And, the people that get complacent and they get comfortable with the fact that they got it are the people that are getting, crossed at the finish line every single time.
Exactly. They get knocked out at the last moment and they're surprised. It's classic tortoise and hare story.
I was just gonna say that. It's funny you say that, and it's these simple stories, that whether it's our kind of age group, or whether it's just stuff that sticks with us. I agree, and it just brings it back to those stories
Those
you hear
old
as a
school
kid.
stories.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
because sorry, go on.
No, no, I was just agreeing with you. It's exactly how it is, and you never actually key into how it relates until you have these types of conversations.
Oh, and when you try to educate the young, like
Oh, for
I
sure.
have my nephew kind of staying with me right now, and just trying to, not being a parent and being at this young age, and trying to educate the younger about values and principles and morals and all things, good stuff you kind of wish you were shown at a young age. So
Yeah,
it's
man,
good.
I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly, man. Trying to be the person that you needed when you were younger is one of the keys to life.
Exactly, and if I can portray that through my music, I feel like even that's a growing sense for me, as much as mixing was. At first, it was like bangers and trying to have the hardest sounding music around, but now I feel the challenge and the reward and the satisfying is having like that more like Nipsey Hustle approach, where you got that like street shit, but it's like everybody's kind of feeling it as much as everybody's feeling everything else right now, and money, and everybody wants to be up. It's like, how can I talk about being down but still making it up at the end of the day? So
For
I've been on
sure.
that shit lately too.
Just previously talking about just like hustling and getting that disciplined mindset. You've put out a lot of singles since you've been active. Yeah, from what I can see here, man, you put out a crazy amount of singles. 2019 starting, you looks like you're in the 20s, I think it seems like, or at least cutting it close.
Yeah, I'm cutting it pretty close, and that's really that took a while to develop, and I was in the same mindset. I thought Oh, before, and this is when I was less developed, you know what I mean? Less educated, less informed, less driven. I was like, I can go get it tomorrow. I have my own studio set up. I can sit
Yeah,
back and I can just do whatever I
it's gonna
want to
be
do today.
easy.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
what people don't understand, and when I mention the 10 years, it like kind of catches people off guard sometimes, but it's like anything you do, you know what I mean? Any degree you go for, any craft you're trying to develop, you know what I mean? The more time you get behind your belt, the better, you know what I mean? So I had to, learn how to, again, get onto a beat and then how to sound good, how to lyrically sound good, how to flow, control your breath,
yeah,
all of that, right? So people don't understand, you know what I mean? People seem to blow up in a year or half a year or 2 years, and they don't understand. Nah, they really just been going for almost a decade, before that started to really shine. So
that's the truth. They don't know the grind and the hustle that happened before.
yeah, and I felt before I mixed and made my own music, I felt like I was kind of lacking, and I was waiting on other people to get stuff done. And I realized, it kind of took a fallout with one of my homies that I was kind of close with. We're good now, but I mean, it kind of took a realization that like I could provide so much more, and instead of waiting on other people, I can go out and do that myself. So that's kind of what led me to want to drop as many singles as I did, and like I didn't want to start professionally releasing and like putting stuff on streaming platforms until I knew I had backup. I knew if I was inactive for a couple months or if I was out of town for a couple months, I could still be dropping stuff on the side. So that's why I kind of set it up that way. And that's why even right now, I haven't really dropped since I think like maybe November, December. But I've been kind of working on myself musically, my sound, what I've been going through, how I can relate that. And now I got a bunch of other singles. I got a bunch of tapes on the way. So it's going to be a good year for me musically, mentally, physically. Regardless of everything going on in the pandemic, it's been a lot of time to hone my craft and decide where I want to put my passion. So it's been
That's great,
awesome.
man. Yeah, that's good. That's really good to hear. And
hmm
just going back to that fallout, I guess you had with your friend, is that also related to how your name came about?
like, what do you mean? Sorry.
The name that you go by, Unborn. Let's talk
Mhm.
about that for a bit, because yeah, when I hear Unborn, my mind instantly goes to undead, right? Being the dead returning back to life, and then unborn, on the other hand, would mean life returning back to whatever is prior, I guess.
Right, and I with the whole name was a whole that was the hardest thing for me. It wasn't
Oh, for sure, dude.
it
I feel you
wasn't
on that.
it wasn't figuring out how I was gonna get my voice out there or how I was gonna make my music. It was what my name was gonna be, and I had kind of names here back and forth, and then I realized somebody already took that, or I didn't know how to relate to that, and finally
Yeah.
I don't really remember the story, but I guess my homie and I were chopping it up one day. He was, I guess he kind of threw it out there, but I guess I kind of related to it because it was like, well, like I'm kind of like undeveloped, unheard of, nobody knows who I am, kind of thing. So though it kind of strikes people as a weird name, I also kind of use it to my benefit because it's like, oh, you don't know me now, but like what I'm really pushing for is you're gonna know one day. So that's my whole philosophy behind it. I'm unborn, I'm unheard of right now, but that's what my hard work and my effort is going towards is no matter what
Hey.
it is I'm a pop somehow, whether it's photography, in my work industry, music, I'm gonna keep pushing for that no matter what. So that's why I'm unborn.
That's dope, man. I feel that, and it's edgy, it's catching, and it almost seems as though, like, and I don't know if this is in the plans or not, but that after the pop does happen, that you might pass this chapter on and take on another name.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was kind of worried about that at first. But a lot of big artists have kind of done that jump back and forth. Oh, this is what they used to call me, kind of deal, and this is what I am now. You know what I mean? Like one of my biggest inspirations is Nas, for example. Go by
Yeah,
like Nasty, Nas, Escobar.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
a whole bunch of different names. So I'm not kind of worried about developing it in the future because my whole chapter and my whole what I want to show in my music is growth. So I'm not necessarily worried about adapting or changing into something given the circumstance and like when. So yeah, that's definitely something I might be interested in, because I was thinking of playing off my whole name before, like my name's Sean Knock, so
Yeah,
my music knocks, something like that. So I was
I
thinking
feel you.
something in that
Yeah,
avenue, kind of
yeah,
when
yeah.
people know who
Something that just
Sean
rolls
Knock
off the
is.
name for sure.
Exactly. So when they kind of know who that is, but yeah, for now it's just kind of gives that little bit of mystery, gives that little bit of like, what, like, why would you choose that name? So it definitely sparks conversation and kind of sparks interest that way for sure. But one
Yeah.
thing I will say is I had to throw in the 403 because the search results just weren't there with my name. Whereas like version 2, you go search up his name's the only thing that comes up on Google. His name's
Yeah.
the only thing that comes up on YouTube. But like mine, you really got to fight through the search results to find mine, right? So that's why I threw in that 403, and that kind of helps my finding my name that way. So
Oh, interesting. Is 403 part of what you go by then, or is that just part of your the handles for social media?
I would say a little bit of both.
Okay.
Sometimes
Either
it's in
or.
my songs. Sometimes, like I change my YouTube and my Instagram and everything to it. But if you notice on Spotify and like Apple Music, it's still just Unborn. So, between re-releasing all my music under another platform and getting it off all the stores and stuff like that, it's just kind of a headache for me at this point. So, um,
I
you
feel you,
know,
bro. Yeah.
it's a bittersweet feeling. So until I'm able to kind of do something about it that way, it's kind of a little bit of both. I kind of go by Unborn403, but you know what I mean. It's not like that on streaming platforms, but it is on my socials. So it's a little bit confusing. But we'll
Nah, what
stick with the
it is what
fucking
it is.
403. We'll stick
Yeah,
with that.
exactly, bro. And
Yeah,
then who knows how things will change in the near future, months or
exactly.
years, like anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, in 2019, since you started, you've been on that hustle, bro. You've been releasing mad singles. What do you find is the benefit in releasing singles over collections, since that's been kind of your like go-to method here?
I think it was I can't really quote it, and I just want to make a quick example of it and, kind of move on to my own example. But I think it was like a Joyner Lucas interview or something, and he was kind of saying, drop as many singles as you can, get as much exposure as you can, kind of
Yeah.
that way, keep the momentum rolling, get your name out there in as many platforms as you can, instead of putting something together that you might not have attracted people with yet. Like if I'm constantly flooding your feed with, high quality content, good sounding music, singles every time over me promoting the same album over and over again, I just feel like it gets more traction that way until you grow that fan base. And developing singles and making singles has actually helped me make projects because it actually has given me more insight to not only who Unborn403 is, but who Sean Knock is. So, developing some more singles, practicing more over time rather than, you know what I mean, focusing on one thing, which I'm kind of getting more into now. I felt like it just kind of let me spread myself out and diversify a little more.
I like the way
So,
you put that, man. That makes
yeah.
sense to me. It's like flexing a whole bunch of different muscles rather than focusing on key or different areas specifically.
Well, and I'm glad you kind of see it that way, and like I'm totally for, you know what I mean, sticking to one area, developing one area before kind of spreading yourself thin. However, now that I kind of have the knowledge and I've developed the confidence and you know what I mean, kind of more respect in in the scene, it's a little bit easier to kind of focus more on a project now than you know what I mean, rather than just trying to constantly gain traction off of singles. So.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's dope. So what's kind of changed in your vision now that you are currently working on collections or so right here?
Just trying to get that well-roundedness feel because again, it's a development. So kind of like I mentioned, first being able to flow on a beat, rap on a beat, you know what I mean, breathe on the beat, get
For
comfortable
sure.
on the beat, sound
For
good on the
sure.
beat. It's kind of developed in that sense because now that I kind of have that confidence down, it's like now what story can I tell? Now what emotion can I give? Now what theme can I give? Now what
Oh, I
so
feel
it's
you.
so now that I kind of understand what I'm trying to do, I can kind of understand what picture I'm trying to paint and what kind of script I'm trying, you know what I mean? So now
And
that
did you
I've
just know that you were ready for that? Did it just click, or is
well,
it just
yeah,
like now's the time?
I think that more recently when COVID just popped off last year in March, I started working with a producer from Ontario,
Yeah.
and he was actually really good to me. He never really sold beats before, and him and I started working, and we started doing business that way. And he sent me a bunch of hard beats that you know what I mean, developed my style like I never seen
Yeah, yeah.
before.
That's dope.
They were really high BPMs, for example, so I found my tempos were a lot quicker. I was rapping and flowing a lot faster. My breath control was crazy. My bars and my delivery again. So I was just like really excited. That was like a burst of creative energy for me because working with a new producer again, that just sparked a whole bunch of creativity working with somebody
For
new, right?
sure. Yeah.
So that kind of, once he sent me a bunch of beats, and like I almost felt like he was my like mustard to my YG. You know what I mean? We were ready to cook
Yeah.
up, and
Yeah.
this guy
Yeah.
was loyal to me. We were ready to cook up. I was like, all right, cool. So he sent
You're just
me.
vibing off each other's styles.
Yeah, yeah, and he's kind of down for my style. I'm down for his, and we're about the same demographic, same age. You know what I mean? We both live in Canada, so
Yeah. Yeah.
we already got that connection, right? So, you know what I mean? He's awesome, by the way. Welshie Trap. We've done a bunch of songs together already, and I think we only have one song right now out, but we got a whole tape ready to go. And I've been trying to get a couple dope Calgary artists on it, and just make sure it's ready by the time I want it to go, because just like I said, on one hand, I want singles, I want to rock them out. Like I was doing two a month, every single month for a while. As much as
Yeah.
I want to rock out singles, now that I feel more developed, I want to make sure that that's it's called Immaculate, the tape I'm doing with Welshie right now, and I kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
tease that. I want it to be immaculate by the time it comes out. I don't want you to be able to hear any fuzz, any glitches, any static, and too much reverb here. Like I want
Yeah.
you to
Yeah. No
listen to that,
flaws.
and that's polished. And like now that I'm
That's
trying to think
sick,
of the
dude.
skits I can do for that, and that kind of came naturally in a sense. I knew I was ready for a project, and then once I saw that, I was like, every producer I started to work with, I was like, damn, if I make one more track with like more than one track with this guy, we're gonna do a project, because I want to just have that diversity. And one more inspiration I kind of have, and like I look up to, is Freddie Gibbs, and he's a little bit more underground, you know what I mean? But he's
Yeah.
been like
Yeah.
soundtrack for like Grand Theft Auto 5 and stuff like that. Not many people know him, but he's got a whole ass portfolio under his belt. Like he's got from producers with like Mad Lib to trap producers. Like he's got the what I mean, more classical sound to the really
Yeah.
trap
Yeah.
sound to the really. So like I just kind of want to be good at kind of all avenues and try different things. So that's why I've been trying to work with so many different producers. Like since 2019, I've probably done business, and you know what I mean, sent money and got exclusive rights to more than like 10 to 15 producers. Like not a lot of people want to go out and not only work with other people, but actually explore those avenues, pay people what they think they're worth, try to develop a good business relationship that way. So it's been really busy as far as meeting people, working with people, learning different styles, learning so much about myself, learning how to deal.
That's the natural evolution that consistently releasing those singles has come up to as well. But hey, listen, we're going to take that quick break I told you about, and then we'll just get right back to it. And we're going to listen to Unborn403's 2021 freestyle. Enjoy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unborn 403. Let me talk my shit. Look. So where do I start? Oh, from the beginning. Destined to dream, my goals to be winning. I had to condition my mind as a prison. I needed a purpose for why I was living. I swear I'm thankful all that I'm given. Told these fuckers I'm blessed and I'm driven. Told these bitches I'm not with the gimmicks. I told all my homies won't stop till I'm finished. I'm up in my city, running up digits, cooking these chickens, washing no dishes. Swim with the sharks, don't fuck with no fishes. Do what I can, I ran out of wishes. I'm addicted like Richard, I'm painting the picture. These words visualize, I'm writing the scripture. I'm getting my roll on, lighting the swisher. Taking this liquor right to the liver. I got me a bag in a minute. Whoa, stacking every digit. Yo, who let me do all the spending, ho? Who let me do all the spending, ho? Starting this year with no grudges. That ain't my job. No, I'm not judging. Using my judgment. No, I'm not budging. I'm starting a family. I'm almost a husband. We bought a home and we filled it with substance. We light the room up as soon as we come in. Taking my chances. I'm never running. Taking my chances. I'm never running. What? I got me a bag in a minute. Whoa, stacking every digit. Yo, who let me do all the spending, ho? Who let me do all the spending, ho? I got me a bag in a minute. Whoa, I can't count all of these digits, no. Who let me do all the spending, ho? Sky's the limit, my foot in the dough.
What's good, everyone? I'm back with Unborn. Unborn, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing awesome, Jordan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. It's Unborn403, though, right? Should I refer to you as the whole string?
Yeah, I'd prefer that, please.
Of course, of course. Unborn403, my man. We are back, and it might sound a little weird as we're starting this recording for the listeners. It's going to be a smooth transition, but for us, it's actually been roughly a month. Has it been a month or 2 months since we've recorded the
It's
first
probably
half?
been about a month and a half, I'd say, in the
A month
middle
and a
of
half.
that.
It's
Yeah.
been a minute, but yeah, what happened was our first half or our second half of our interview got corrupted because of our initial issue that happened, the which was your lightning strike in your house or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we talked about in the second half of the interview last time. So let's get into that right away. So
All
the
right,
first
cool.
reason our interview was cut short, we tried to set up our interview about a month and a half ago, and then we're like 5 minutes into setting up, and then this happens. Take it.
We were getting ready to set up the interview. It was about, I can recall exactly what time. It was probably like 9:26 p.m. We were getting ready, and it was around the time that we were having that funky weather. The meteor showers, lightning storm in the
Just a
winter.
whole bunch of trippy shit. Yeah.
Yeah, all that crazy stuff. And I actually had a crazy day and a crazy week. So let me just like kind of give a little bit of backstory. I had just started a position at a job, and then unfortunately things kind of went south, and
Oh
I
man.
ended up quitting that same week. It was a part-time position anyway, but there was a lot of energy surrounded in that moment, and it was kind of really intense that day. And then later that night, things started popping off with the lightning and whatever. And I was in the studio, I was in the basement just getting set up, and I hear this big like boom, and like my speaker starts like making this really big feedback noise. You know what I mean? I was like, what the hell happened? Did I blow something in the wall? Did my electric panel short or something? And I run upstairs, and my nephew, who was with me at the time, says, "Oh, like there's a fire outside. There's a fire outside." And I guess
Man.
lightning struck our tree, grounded to our old gas line. It was one of those old metal gas lines, grounded to the gas line, blew that, started a fire, and yeah, it was a crazy night. Not only having lightning strike your tree, I had a real Canadian moment with my neighbors. They came over in their house coat and slippers and started stomping it out and throwing snow on the fire. And before I could even get my
Hey, shout out to
extinguisher,
the
that was out,
neighbor.
and they already walked away, and I didn't even get a chance to thank them. So
No
shout out my neighbors for
way.
that.
They pretty much saved you and then just pieced out.
Yeah, they didn't even want any glory or anything. They're like, I gotta go put on some clothes. It's cold out.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. That's probably all it was. They're like, I'm not dressed for this. I just needed to react.
Yeah, it actually snowed quite a bit that night too. So we had the firefighters coming out, and we weren't allowed to go in the house for a little while. And I had some
Man.
studio equipment damaged and a bunch of stuff, but it was crazy for sure. Like our tree, there's like light, like you can see where the lightning struck and travels down all three trees. Like we've got the tallest trees in the neighborhood, and yeah, they got hit. So
Bro, that's uncanny for sure. That's such a crazy story, and it's more or less why the second half of our interview got corrupted because it's your laptop charger got fried from that
yeah,
occurrence, right?
yeah, I
And
haven't
so
been
so
able to
our
use my laptop since.
yeah, and our interview cut out right when your laptop died, and I guess I don't know this platform we use just decided to. I guess it saves on your end. I'm not too sure, but it ended up not coming to us. But it is what it is, and here we are today.
Yes, sir, and I'm glad that we could finish this. And for having me, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, man. So, in the month and a half we've been missing, kind of what have you had going on? You've picked up this new job that's occupied a ton of your time, but have you had a lot of time to do music otherwise?
Oh yeah, that's actually been my job for a while now. I'm just on call kind of thing. So
Okay, I see it.
in between working, I try to put as much music to or as much time towards music, and obviously my personal life and stuff. But I've been working on a couple things. I we went and shot the homie version 2 and I, and a couple dancers from Calgary. We went and shot a music video.
No
I started
way.
working on a couple new songs. Mixed a couple new songs.
How'd you get the group together for the music video?
You know what? Actually, I've been wanting to do something cool for a music video for a long time, and that included showcasing some of Calgary's talent, as well as trying to
Of
get my own
course,
name out there.
man.
Trying to
Yeah.
put other people on the map and do something cool. So, I don't really remember how exactly I came across my boy Ace, Ace the Real Alchemist on Instagram.
Oh, hey, I
That's the
follow him
homie.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. I came across him somehow, and I was like, "Yo, like I got a dope song. I see you do real dope stuff, and maybe we could kind of link up, choreograph something." And he was open, he was honest, he was 100 about it from the beginning. Like he picked the spot and the time. He was offering to bring homies. We showed up. They had some choreographed, but they weren't actually expecting to do the last half of the song, which was my buddy's verse. and they
Yeah.
ended up freestyling the whole thing, and it looked cohesive and sick and
Hey.
awesome. And I'd love to work with them again. Shout out Ace and shout out Frankie. Those guys came through, and we got a music video on the way. So we've been
That's
cooking.
wild, bro. And you guys are gonna homebrew the editing?
Yeah. I didn't know how to feel about it at first about editing because I obviously I wanted to look really sick, and
Of
editing
course,
isn't
yeah.
really my forte. But we ended up, I lined up the clips, and my homie, we sat through it for probably like a week, and just spread out separate days. We were just sitting down and what can we do here? What can we do here? Transitions, So it
Oh,
is edited. It's ready to go, and I'm pretty excited
nice.
for it to come out.
Oh, bro, when's the drop?
Well, here's the funny thing. I'm kind of doing it backwards. I'd say probably like a week or two max, but I haven't even posted the song yet. So I wanted to get it on streaming platforms and then drop the video. So I'm just trying to get some art done for the song right now, and then I'm gonna drop the video here probably within the next 2 weeks.
Dope. And is that part of your like promotion and marketing strategy to release it on streaming first and then the video?
Yeah, and get line up some promo. I've been contacting different pages and different people that I can kind of push this out
Hey,
to.
dude,
So
you're putting in the time and effort and money into this project, eh?
yeah, and that's the way I want to go for the rest of making music is just trying to put a little bit of that extra money that I can that I could put in the silly other little places, just investing it back into the music, So
Of course, man. And then keep hitting that bar and maintaining that consistent quality that we know and love.
exactly.
That's dope, man. One of the things we touched on last time we were speaking is your consistent releases of singles and the development of your style has brought you to the point where you are today, and just working with the from different angles and including your different collaborations that you've worked with. I know Version 2, your boy. I forget who the other one we had talked about before. I think it was Beats by Pete.
Yeah,
Is
there's
that sound right?
that's yeah, Beats by Peter. That's the guy who I pretty much started doing official releases with, and
Yeah, yeah.
started actually branching out into doing collabs with other people because that really got me out of my comfort zone. Working with somebody who I kind of knew but wasn't too close to,
For
and then we
sure.
kind of just built the chemistry that way. It just made me want to go outsource and be a little more extroverted. So.
And dude, I think that's incredible. And now you've come to this point of extreme outsourcing where you're finding just random people in the city to not only promote your stuff with, but to like promote the industry as a whole.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a big thing to make connections, and we kind of talked about last time having a team, because everybody talks about doing things themselves, but you need good people around you that bring different things to the table to kind of not only teach you and to grow, but so you guys help each other out in that aspect too, right? So
I agree 100%, bro. One of the lines that sticks close to me is you can get fuck, what is it? You can get further alone, but fuck, it'll come to me. You can get
word, no,
shit. Does it ring a bell at all? I barely said anything. You get there
mm.
faster together, but further. Nah, fuck it. All right, I'm tapping out of this. I just think that's dope that you're fucking trying to. So you're saying that you're trying to build a team then, essentially. So you're gonna can have these people that you're working with consistently, be it dancers or maybe like the features and producers that you work with.
Yeah, hopefully. Producers more so, you know what I mean? I don't want to. I want to keep the dance thing, like specifically. I guess I'll touch on the dance. I want to keep that fresh. I don't want to overuse that, but I still
Okay,
want to
that's
have
fair.
connections to those homies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
for
when the time
producers,
comes, you can always reuse them as well.
exactly, and you know what I mean. If they have something they want to do, or I can help them out in some way. You know what I mean? I'd totally love to
Hey, I
be there
feel
to bat
you.
for those guys too. However I could. So
So it's like building the connection so that the work can go either way. That's
yeah,
brilliant, man.
yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
dope, dude. I think that's a great way to not only diversify your scene, but I just love it because it's like stimulating our hip hop economy in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's exactly what we need because the motivation's pretty low these days. There's not a ton of options.
No, and part of it comes from working kind of with what you've got. I mean, not that everybody's got people at disposal, but like for example, I never even met Ace before, and I hit him up and I was like, "Yo, here's the plan. What's the plan? What can we make work?" And he was just very malleable and moldable. Like he was down to do whatever. He was down to listen. He was down to like him and Frankie. They were both down to pitch ideas, and those are the kind of guys you need around you that are willing to contribute to the whole goal. You know what I mean? Rather than the
For
people
sure.
who kind of just want to be around to be around. You know what I mean? So it's nice to have people around that are contributing, and you know what I mean. They're even helping us like produce the thing, because
No
the story
way.
behind that is we were supposed to be a backup camera, because you know what I mean. My girlfriend and I just started our own little photography thing,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that was
you
supposed
tell
to
me.
be for our portfolio kind of thing. and then the main camera didn't show. So
No
we're like,
way.
all right, fuck it. I think we're about to shoot like this whole ass music video. We should just like, you know what I mean? And it all just came together perfectly. So moral of the story, it might not always be planned out, and you can get things wrong a thousand times, but we got it right that time. And I think that's going to show in the video. So again, I don't want to gas these guys up too much, but shout out Ace, shout out Frankie, shout out version 2. This video is going to be dope, in my bag 2 weeks from now, hopefully, and that's just going to be out. So
That's dope, man. I love it. I'm looking forward to it. That's the kind of energy I love putting into it too, man. It seems like you've got this shit on lock. Even though you're so busy in your professional life outside of music, you've still got this kind of like the gears are always turning and you've always got your
Mhm.
moves planned out, which is sick,
Mhm.
man. Not a lot of people have that.
No, and I hate to be stagnant, you know what I mean? And like even look, I get into competition with myself. I see I haven't dropped music in a month, and I'm like, damn, like I used to be dropping music every 2 weeks. I need to get back on it. So
Yeah, what happened to me? Yeah.
exactly. So
Through your music, I remember you said you'd achieve. Was it through your music? You said you had achieved some mental and spiritual growth, and it really changed you not only as a person, as Sean Knock, but as Unborn403, the artist.
yeah, yeah. Just like
Was there a
trying
moment in
to.
time that it happened, or was it just kind of like a casual transition?
It was a transition. It was a compound effect. It was multiple things that led to, you know what I mean, life experiences and music, and trying to channel those life experiences into music. Because you know what I mean. As easy as it sounds to go make like a track about your life and make it relatable and make it just some heartfelt shit, it's really hard to do that sometimes if that's not like all you're constantly focused on. You know what I mean? Like.
That's true. If you're out of the mindset, you can't really write for it.
Well, yeah, and I had to try to learn how to diversify in the fact that, well, before, you know what I mean, I was just making music to make music, and then I was making music to, have that like catchy banger, like you bump your head to every like banger, and then it was like, well, I can't just do that. I gotta, you know what I mean, have some kind of fulfillment for myself and know that I'm doing something real for myself, and I guess that's kind of where that transition came from.
What direction has that more or less set you in terms of like your writing style that you want to, or the messages that you want to portray?
It's helped a lot because it's helped me realize who I am and what message I want to portray, and what kind of avenues I want to go. So like going forward, I just know that, you know what I mean, I have to, be true to myself, be confident in my abilities, stand behind what I'm saying.
What does that look like now compared to what you were writing before, I guess, in terms of like the themes of your music, or do you have kind of like a goal for what you want your fans to identify you as?
I probably should do this more in my writing process, but I haven't really considered what I would hope people would view me as. I just kind of, do my own thing and just try to keep it as real as possible and try to have as many different styles as I can. And then, you know what I mean? What you want to kind
Yeah.
of interpret. That's the thing about art. You can kind of interpret it however you want, right? So I try to keep it real, and I don't really sit there and say I want people to think I'm the hardest guy in the city or I'm the realest guy in the city. I just try to keep it real, and I just try to do me, So
And whatever they take from it, they can take from it. That's pretty much exactly what you said before. We just explained you're doing it for the fulfillment out of it.
right, right.
Knowing that the city has been super low key and it's gonna be super low key as far as like performances and just like getting out there in terms of hip hop.
Mm.
What do you want to see in the near future? What do you think is going to happen in the near future for working, I guess, in public, or like you know what I mean, just kind of getting out there? Because I see you're doing it
Mm.
already in working with these other people and doing these music videos with kind of like groups. But what other avenues do you see in the future for I guess us in the community?
Um, well, what I hope for, and I guess what I think's gonna happen, are probably two different things. What I would hope for is that everybody gets their shit together and shows come back and
Bro,
shit. But
we both know that's not going to be for a while.
well, that's just it, right? So hopefully there's different avenues.
Dude, I think it was supposed to be in the fourth phase
Mhm,
that they were going to do that, and
mhm.
now we've rolled back to phase one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
fourth phase they were going to do live entertainment, but I honestly haven't been following it too close. I just know that it's going to be probably going to be a while. Shit's got to change.
yeah, for sure. And that just it open as many doors as it closes, it can also open up some doors, right? So what I would hope to see is more, I've seen like people doing online tours, You know what I mean? The online interviews,
Yeah.
things like the YYC Hip Hop Daily freestyle I did. Like that was just a platform to get on where,
Oh yeah, for
you know
sure.
what
That
I
was
mean? You didn't
sick.
have
Yeah.
to surround yourself by too many people and put yourself at risk if you didn't want to, but you still had a platform to go get yourself up on. So I'm hoping to see, you know what I mean? You know, outdoor shows. Like I know of gatherings of all. I'm not even sure what the rules and regulations are right now, but even to see, you know, outdoor gatherings or some way to regulate this, because I know there's ways around this. It's just we got to find the loopholes and we got to stay smart about it, because if we want it bad enough as artists and promoters and DJs, we're going to go find it somehow, right? Like that's how cutthroat music
And
is and hip hop industry is. So I hope to
for real,
see.
man, and I think you hit it on the head there with your two suggestions. I think so.
Yeah, just let's try some different things, you know. Let's work with what we can got instead of everybody getting in the same boat and saying, you know, fuck this, fuck COVID, having your own opinion. Let's just work together and figure out a solution where everybody can still get on their platforms and everybody can still make their money or can still do their thing, you know what I mean? So
Word, bro. Honestly, just in pretty much in line with what you just said, I say we can even take like the largest venues, make them 10% capacity. Can't we run them at that? I don't know. But even outdoor shows, that's brilliant. Whatever we can do to just keep people safe and still kind of just get out there, because I do feel like being in public and we're performers, right? We're entertainers. It's got to
mhm.
be, we've got to fulfill that angle. What do you think that we can do more for that on those online performances? I know you mentioned like doing live streaming, live tours, things like that. What do you think as like artists we should be doing more, or as like promotional companies we should be doing more? You know, what do you think the media companies should be doing more of?
As artists, I'd say reaching out more, outsourcing, asking what's the what, you know what I mean? Not
So
being
just kind of networking.
networking for artists. I just had a really, it's either the stupidest thing everybody's ever heard or might be
Yo,
somewhat smart, but this is my next is my next point, sorry. But I was
yo, all
thinking,
good,
like,
all
why
good.
don't club pages, maybe clubs or like big venues or big businesses or big establishments, their own IG page or whatever, they host their own live and they pick out a poster or whatever, they pick out all their artists, and then they can host these things live, and like they have to make some kind of incentive obviously, but like,
For sure.
you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you come join this, and again, this is where the stupidest idea ever comes in. We fucking Uber you drinks, or you know what I mean? Like, come on, there's got to be some kind of fucking way we can make this work, right? So,
For people to watch it.
well, yeah, or to buy the tickets, or to, because you know what I mean. You could still make it like a paid avenue, so people are still getting their cut,
Interesting.
but you still
I
have to
think,
incentive. Like,
yeah, you still have to incentivize it. People have to get something out of it.
and I can't speak because this is a biased opinion. I don't know everybody in the city. I don't know what people are doing, but maybe people aren't asking enough questions, or people aren't asking for what they want. You know what I mean? So if people come to a promoter with an idea and the promoter doesn't have to do all the legwork, like somebody's willing to do it for them, or somebody has an idea for an event, you know what I mean? I think people are a little bit, just like you said, just like low key checked out. Like people don't want to explore those avenues right now. They just want to kind of do their own thing, but
Yeah.
we can still come together without being, you know, within 6 feet of each other or within whatever. There's still ways that we can come together is the point I guess I'm trying to make, and there's still
That's the
ways we
truth.
can do something.
Or at least in the near future, it will get closer to that than having what things used to be.
Yeah, and I'm hoping this will bring everybody closer together, you know, as much as it's pushed everybody apart. I've realized the value of connections and meeting people and making genuine connections. So where I hope it goes, I hope that people are less standoffish in the city, because the scene, I'm not pointing
Oh,
fingers or
bro.
anything, but some people, and this is in any industry, some people just want to see them do their thing and they don't want to meet other people, right? So,
The scene's divided for real. Like you said before, man, we can grow together.
well,
Fuck,
yeah,
I
and
want to
like,
remember that quote.
mm. I was gonna Google it earlier, and I was like, "What can I put to make this come up?"
Fuck, I think I just remembered it. You can get there faster alone, but you can go further together. I think
That
that's fucking it.
that sounds like that's it, and that sounds
That sounds
very
like that's
wise.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Just took my brain fucking maximum capacity to remember. We're hitting our overtime here though, bro. You want to sign off and say anything to anybody who's listening? Let them know what's up.
Yeah, just thanks for tuning in, and shout out Jordan the homie, you know, keeping it real all the time, doing big
Oh,
things for
my
Calgary
boy.
scene. And yeah, check out some of my music on streaming platforms. Unborn403. Watch out for the music video in my bag. And I just want to give one more shout out to the homies: Ace, Frank, Version 2, And, you know, my girlfriend Madison, because she helped me out so much with the music video, and I fucking love you.
Hey.
And yeah.
Oh man, always spreading that love. Thank you so much, Unborn403. I'm sorry for all the fucking crazy delays and weirdness that we had, but I'm sure it was all meant for a reason. I'm excited that we finally been able to tie this up.
Me too, bro.
Appreciate it, brother. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir. Take care, brother. Thank you.
Peace. I really hope you enjoyed this interview with Unborn403. If you want to learn a little bit more about him and connect on some socials, head on down to www.reevolvemedia.com/Unborn403. And we are going to listen to a track by him featuring D'Amelio called Militant. Enjoy.
Unborn, plug stuck in this bitch, yup.
Yo, you already know, it's your boy Dave East, and we gotta grind all the time to make this shit right. And my man is really working. Listen to this shit, let's go.
I call this move with a purpose. I keep my eyes on the serpents. I call this move with a purpose. Run up a bag and fuck up a purchase. I'm ripping and shipping and loading, new clipping it. Words be the hollows, beat be the tip to it. Moving ever so militant, move with a purpose. I'ma keep killing shit. I call this move with a purpose. I keep my eyes on the serpents. I call this move with a purpose. Run up a bag and fuck up a purchase. I'm ripping and shipping and loading, new clipping it. Words be the hollows, beat be the tip to it. Moving ever so militant, move with a purpose. I'ma keep killing shit. I call this move with a purpose. If I owned it, I earned it. Every beat, yeah, I burned it. Every lesson made me learn shit. Waited and waited, now it's my turn, bitch, cleaning it up like I'm detergent. Quick with the hands, call me a surgeon. Hop in the booth and then I start purging. I move with a purpose, direction in every step. I be flexing on every rep. Keep on watching, ain't finished yet. I run this shit, still ain't break a sweat. Rookie still running like a vet. I'm talking cash, won't take a check. Mention my name, it's out of respect. Yup, jump in the whip and then I start swerving. Hard to tax me, knowing my worth is just like a record. You scratching the surface, standing ovation, roll up the curtain. I call this move with a purpose. I keep my eyes on the serpents. I call this move with a purpose. Run up a bag and fuck up a purchase. I'm ripping and shipping it, loading, new clipping it. Words be the hollows, beat be the tip to it. Moving ever so militant, move with a purpose. I'ma keep killing shit.
Bitch, I move with a purpose. Bitches on me, yeah, I earned it. I don't know what your concern is, but you better mind your business. Every day is new killings, yeah. We really purge shit, we really murk shit. Don't call my line up, less about money, but something real urgent. I'm fresh as fuck, I ain't talking detergent. Pull up back to back in black Suburban. Talking that shit, we don't swerve them. These hoes wanna fuck out of curb. I move like a general, yeah, that's a fact. You talking in interview, I'm getting you whacked. Yeah.
Hey, yo, Brody Toe.
You better listen to a boss.
I call this move with a purpose. I keep my eyes on the serpents. I call this move with a purpose. Run up a bag and fuck up a purchase. I'm ripping and shipping and loading, new clipping it. Words be the hollows, beat be the tip to it. Moving ever so militant, move with a purpose. I'ma keep killing shit. I call this move with a purpose. I keep my eyes on the serpents. I call this move with a purpose. Run up a bag and fuck up a purchase. I'm ripping and shipping and loading, new clipping it. Words be the hollows, beat be the tip to it. Moving ever so militant, move with a purpose. I'ma keep killing shit.